audio. In 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 audio.
Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV. And we are here. We are live for the debate show. 3-point collectors in the building. We got here. We're live and kicking. Big up to everybody who's watching right now. Make sure you hit that like button. 155 of yous right now. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the mandem. We got man like Mr. Access in the building. Planet Vast. The main man.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Come on.
Adam, I'm coming for you, Adam. Get off Rashford's back. I've been watching you.
I've been watching you too, mate.
I've been watching you, Adam.
I heard you as
Big
well,
up,
Faz. I
everyone.
heard
Big up,
you
big
today
up.
as well. I heard you today. We'll talk about that as well. But listen, big up, Faz. As always, man, I'm probably assuming that you just got back in the house now from your daily duties. You know,
Bro.
big up to you.
It is what it is,
Come
man.
on.
When Saeed calls, you have to answer. When the gaffer calls, Big Bad Saeed called
on.
me, I had to answer, man.
Come on. Always, always. We got Sunny in the building. Sunny, how are you, man? Today, Old Trafford, good to see you as well, as usual.
Of course, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm tired like yourself, but just before we start, it's so funny how I even bumped into Saeed today. He was getting his bag searched as he does. And I just was walking at the same time. I was like, oh my God, Saeed, what a time to meet someone. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm good, man. I'm good. And likewise, pleasure to meet you again today.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We got a man like Danny's back. He's here. He's ready to cause, you know what I mean, the you know, the opinion that nobody wants to hear. But Danny, how are you, brother? You good?
Listen, you gotta hear it. Listen, the people don't want reason. That's the only reason you don't want to hear it. I hold up a mirror and I expose you for your hypocrisy. That's why they don't want to hear it. Let's be real.
Yeah. Come on. We love to see it. And the Professor Adam's in the building. You know what I mean? What are you saying, Adam? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I woke up at 7:30 for the game, and it was a
Come
good
on.
game. So that's all right. It's good.
Dedication, man. Nah, I love to
I
see
bet
it.
those are all. I bet that's just football books and DVDs in the background for Adam. It's all football related.
No, those are my dad's, and there are lots of philosophy and literature that's not football.
Those are the same books that Mitoma was reading before he did his dribbling degree, man. These guys are Mitoma, man.
Bro,
Mitoma's degree.
those are the books Rashford wrote
Aye. Big up, man. Big up, man. But listen, man, we've got to talk about today. Recap today. Talk about the main points. Rashford's injury, lack of clinical edge, but United got the job done. Faz should have been 5 or 6, man. I don't think that's an understatement, right? Could have been 5 or 6. Rashford should have had 1 or 2. Anthony should have had a hat trick. We had abundance of chances, man. You know what I mean? The keeper was on point. And Everton, you know what I mean? They got away with it first half. It was only 1-0, but what do you reckon, man? Today, man, how do you sum it up?
Look, first thing first, I'm going to say is, as much as I dislike Jordan Pickford, I have to give him his props. The guy literally played like he wanted a Ballon d'Or today. He was like a cat trying to keep every ball out. And you know, props to him, really and truly props to him. But then in the opposite side, in hindsight, you guys know how much I sit there and take punches from people because of Anthony. And because I take that, I'm going to be very, very critical on him, man. 1v1, I know 1v1 is very hard. It's harder to score 1v1 than it is when you have defenders around you. But 1v1 and spot kick, 2 things in my eyes, pet peeve. You don't miss it. And he had few 1v1 chances. Obviously, one of them was a slide tackle. One of them, it wasn't a 1v1. He hit the post. But the one that was very clear, he tried to curl it. Anthony, you had to score it. You must, because early on in the game, you score that, and it takes us to another gear early on in the game. And imagine, it's always if buts and maybes and fine margins, but imagine that in a critical game, in a cup game, in a semi-final, in a knockout game or etc., or in a game where we need the points or whatever. Those fine margins can count. I'm glad the team performed really well. I'm glad he performed really well. But I'm going to be critical because I back him so much, and I know the potential is there. He should have curled it, right past him or gone near post, whichever, but he should have scored, man. Should have scored. But he did really well. He set up Sancho as well with a through ball, with his left foot. Few times he was through on goal. And because of number one, there's only one goalkeeper in the world that matters. The rest of them don't matter, because last time I checked, David Raya had an own goal, Costa had an own goal. David De Gea haters, you better pray I don't find you guys. Really and truly, you should pray that I don't clock who you are. I'm telling you.
Danny, man,
I'm telling you. You should pray. You're lucky I'm not coming down hard on you guys. Danny, you can shake your head, but it is set in stone. It is carved in stone. David De Gea is a club legend, and I want David De Gea to retire in this club. Whether you get a new keeper, get a new keeper. But this guy, David De Gea, mate, oh my goodness. What a keeper. 100% pass accuracy. How about that for a change, eh?
Absolutely, man. Big up Faz with the energy. Sonny, man, you know what I mean? You were there today. You know what I mean? We what is it, obviously, with United in a minute? Someone was saying about the XG. Man City had an XG of, what did he say there? Was it 2 point something or something like that? And we had ours was 3.4. We need to be burying these chances, man, because sooner or later it's going to cost us, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's top 4, I don't know what it is, but sooner or later it's going to cost us, man. We need to be more clinical, man. But how did you see the game today, man?
No, definitely. I think I do echo a lot of what Faz is saying. We did miss a lot of chances in the first half, a lot of one-on-ones. I think Anthony had 2, Rashford had 2. Yes, Pickford did make some good saves, but some of them you should really be burying. But what I did like is the fact that we were getting into those positions, because there's been so many games recently, especially at Old Trafford, where we haven't really created clear-cut chances. So it's good to see that, especially with how Everton were playing. I think, yeah, fine. We looked good in the first half. Yes, we should have scored, but we were getting in those positions. And, I know we've come onto stream many times, Adam and Danny especially, and we've spoken about how Rashford could be that number 9, for example. And the movement he was showing today showed that he could actually do that at some point. He definitely showed that quality. I did think, there were a few instances, where I was like, it's just not going to be our day today. But once we got that first goal with Scott McTominay, great assist, great pass by Sancho, it was like, yeah, we're comfortable. Then second half came. Again, it wasn't really the same as the first half. Wasn't as much zip. But Everton didn't really have a goal threat. Shout out to our defence. Maguire came in. A lot of people were like, oh my God, Maguire's playing sort of thing. But Maguire came in and put in a great performance, in my opinion. I know Faz is a big David De Gea fan. I think he did well. I mean, shout out to one of the passes he made to Anthony's one-on-one. He split through Everton's defence beautifully. But listen, I'm still in Danny's corner as well, unfortunately, for Faz's sake. I do think we need a new keeper. But that's for another conversation. But overall, I think it was a great win. Yes, the finishing wasn't great, but this is what I said on the previous debate show, Saeed. Yes, we did lose to Newcastle and the performance wasn't great, but if we go and win against Brentford, which we did, and we won today, all of that will be forgotten about, and I think that's what's happened today.
Absolutely. Samuel Tway is coming here with his own opinion. I know Aaron Masaka had a good game, but that miss was a disgrace. Can't be a serious baller doing stuff like that. That's just because he's...
Don't show him any clips of Ronaldo missing an open goal from 1 yard out in like 07. Yeah. Don't show
exactly. Him. Samuel, agendas have to run. Samuel, yeah, is that what you're saying? But no,
Thierry Henry as well. Thierry Henry had some sitters he missed as well.
It's a bank holiday weekend, and Samuel.
Ryan Giggs. What cup final was it? Arsenal. Ryan Giggs missed that open goal. Was that was it 05 or 04? I can't remember now.
And
early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. Against David Simon against Arsenal, one game, open net, just skied it over the top.
Yeah.
There's one that's my first United memory, 2000 maybe. And I remember the first thing was slating Ryan Giggs. And
that's where it started, Adam.
That's where it started, Adam? Yeah.
And who's this guy?
That's a good one, man.
Yeah,
you know what, though? I think for me, and we'll get to Wan-Bissaka, he's my number one right back right now. Dalot is good, and I rate Dalot, but I think Wan-Bissaka is the man for me starting right now. But Danny, was this a glimpse of Ten Hag ball today in terms of like it was very fluid, very attacking minded, a lot of third man runs, a lot of combinations, a lot of aggressive. You know what I mean? Like I thought today we've seen a lot of what Ten Hag wants, even though the personnel isn't there. A lot of players performed very, very well in his system, and everyone's fluid. Even Maguire. Listen, people have their agendas on Maguire, but he was again very flawless. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. What do you reckon of Ten Hag ball today?
It's just nice to see us come back to Old Trafford where we're strong because we're a week away from home and just play some decent football and create chances. I'm not really stressed about us missing chances. Like I look at someone like Anthony as an example. Arsenal, 1 chance, 1 goal, took it. The Everton game, a few games later, 1 chance, 1 goal, took it. Swings and roundabouts. Rashford in September, October, couldn't hit anything. Then went on a 4-month run, banging goals. Now he looks a bit iffy again. Goals and roundabouts, so not stressed about that. But yeah, in terms of Ten Hag ball, I'll be honest with you. Anyone who comes to Old Trafford, if you set up in a passive mid block, you're gonna get cooked. You're gonna get cooked. You can't set up that way against Man United at Old Trafford. It's just not gonna work out for you. And when you do attack, you saw what the counter attack was looking like today. We didn't finish any of those moves, but the threat was constantly there in the first half. Second half, the rhythm went. The telepathy wasn't there. Like there'll be a good weight of pass, but the player for the receiver wouldn't read it, and vice versa. They took their foot off the gas a little bit. That was disappointing. But yeah, no, you're gonna see Ten Hag football against setups like that. That's the worst football. That's the worst setup any opposition team can do against Ten Hag. Passive, mid-block.
Yes, very.
Forget it. We're going to cut through. Simple.
Absolutely. Big Early Tenor said this.
Oh, real quick. Apologies. Shout out to the Everton fan that's on a stream or a space on TalkSport saying stuff like, you know, if we didn't have Pickford in goal, it would have been 6 today. Shout out to that Everton fan that's saying that.
Yeah, facts.
Shout out to that Everton fan. If they didn't have Pickford, it would have been, 5 or 6. Just shows if you have any goalkeeper, maybe you see the goalkeeper in goal and you'll he'll make some saves maybe in it. But yeah, shout out to those Everton fans and Man United fans as well.
Adam, what were you saying about today? You said you enjoyed the game. What particularly did you enjoy about today? You're on mute, Adam. You're on mute.
We played football, so it's been a while since we actually just played and made passes, and it's been 2 games in a row. And Danny and I think we agree on this, and we've been saying it for quite a while. We haven't played like that since the last time we've put that front 3 out there. And it's not that Jadon Sancho has suddenly picked up form. He's not really different from what he used to be, but the whole team playing well. all of a sudden we see him playing well. We see him take players on more. The thing is, if you want the threat, and I tweeted that earlier, if you want the threat of taking a player on to be real, the threat of making a pass, a dangerous pass, needs also to be real. Otherwise, you're easy to neutralize. If the team is not fluid, if we are not playing well, if you are not moving the ball around, well, the threat of going one-on-one against dribbling past play is not a real threat. They can just organize themselves in a way to stop you. And now I'm very happy with the last two performances because we've seen good movements, good pressing, good ways of winning the ball back, and I'm very happy. And again, and we'll go to Faz, and he won't agree with me. It's not because we removed Weghorst that we are playing better, because we are creating more chances, and Rashford is not the one creating the chances, and neither was Weghorst in charge of creating the chances. We are more fluid because we have more players looking to make a pass first, and then we have a threat of actual real pace forward. That's a real threat, and then Rashford provides that. But we are just playing better because we have more players that look to make a pass, and I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. We even carried Maguire, and he didn't look terrible. He looked all right. He played well, I think. Nothing on my part. Didn't notice anything atrocious, and that's not nothing. So overall, Bruno played well. Sabitzer played well.
Excellent, man.
Yeah, big time. And I think McTominay played a very good game as well. I was happy with his performance. So now we have the injury to Rashford, but we have Casemiro, Eriksen, Martial coming back just to at least we can manage. So he picked up the right moment, quote unquote, because if he was injured the last few games, we would have been just a body down. So I'm happy with that.
I think for me, Sonny, I think the front three, the midfield three for me was the key today in the game. McTominay sitting back. We will talk about Sabitzer's performance today. I think it was very, very underrated. Went under the radar, but was doing a lot of things that people didn't see, that initiated certain situations, that allowed people to make certain runs. Sani, what did you make of the midfield three today? Very, very effective, man, today. And we didn't get outnumbered against Brentford. We didn't get outnumbered against, which looks like a tough midfield in Everton in terms of the way they kind of use their energy and use their pace and power. But yeah, what did you think of that midfield today? How it operated?
No, I agree with you. I think the midfield did an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, a lot of people were thinking, "Oh, why is Fred not in the team? You know, he's been playing quite good for us," and he has, to be fair. But Scott McTominay showed in that game why we needed his presence. He was a very, very physical player in that game. A lot of the times he was shielding the ball really well, protecting that ball really well against the likes of Iwobi and especially Onana. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen Onana play football before on the pitch, like in the flesh. That guy is a giant. He's huge, right? And the way McTominay was dealing with him was fantastic. I mean, that was one thing. You mentioned Sabitzer. I think Sabitzer, that might have been one of his best games so far in Man United shirt. I mean, he was fantastic. He was everywhere for us. He was even advancing a lot more forward. He had that one opportunity where Pickford made a great save as well. When he advanced through, I was like, oh my God, he might be scoring a goal here. But that was a good save again by Pickford. And then, yeah, Bruno dictating the play, controlling the tempo. Yeah, a few times passes were going array, but he did do a pretty good job. And people need to realise that isn't Bruno's position. He's doing a job there because of the injuries that we have. So yes, the midfield was fantastic. And then of course, Fred came on for a bit. I mean, we're going to probably get into it, but it was great to see Eriksen come back as well. So we're getting players, like Adam mentioned earlier, coming back at the right time. Casemiro, obviously suspension. We'll have him on Thursday. You know, there's still going to be players, but the boys today, I think, done a great job. Because a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to get bullied in that midfield. But I think if anything, we bullied them, to be honest.
100%. Sabitzer for me, Faz, people saying, I like Sabitzer could get do much better for cheaper as well. But listen, we gotta understand what we've got right now, innit? And that's the best way to look at it right now. He is giving us an impact. He is starting to prove his worth, even though he came honestly as a loan. What do you make of Sabitzer?
Fantastic player. He comes from a stable where a player like Sabitzer was getting benched. Of course, Bayern Munich's caliber of players is extremely high. You know, their organization is probably one of the best in the world. But Sabitzer, he's got, really good Champions League experience. Obviously, he's got great experience from Munich as well. it shows that when you get a player that has good ability, good IQ, what they can do under Ten Hag. This is why I get on to Weghorst so much, is because he's limited. There's certain things he does well, and that's it. That's where it stops. Whereas we all know Sabitzer is a very fluid player. The guy can play in numerous different positions in the pitch and do it really well as well. One of the things that people don't mention enough of is his off the ball. I remember when Sabitzer was brought in, I said he's kind of a hybrid mix between a Casemiro and an Eriksen. He's not the best when it comes to passing, but he's not the worst, and he's not the most aggressive, but he is aggressive. He gets stuck in. And when you give him that little area just higher up above 8 position, between 10 and 8, around that area, he's not really creative. He's not going to find you intricate passes like Eriksen, but he's going to be there to just find small little opportunities for your players off the ball, try and close the distance, press hard. He's high energy, high pace, and he maintains intensity throughout the game. He doesn't, you know how one of the things we say, Eriksen is leggy. In a 70, 80-minute period, you start seeing Eriksen slowly fade a little bit, get caught on the ball if Eriksen receives the ball. These are some of the things you don't see with Sabitzer. He's still there at that level of intensity later on in the game. Of course, for example, the assist that he got for Marcus Rashford, that header, it was fantastic as well. Today, again, very, very good. And on top of that, he's got a long-range shot. He's got a free kick. He's an overall really well-polished player. Age is not on his side, unfortunately, but for the price, if you ask me, 20 million, considering we are looking to spend a lot of money on other positions, I would like to 100% keep him. For 20 million, keep him. There's no doubt and no argument about why we shouldn't keep a player like that in our squad. His injury record is decent. He gets stuck in. There's no complaints from me, in all honesty. No complaints at all. It gives you that, and it gives you that little extra edge if you need to take off an Eriksen, if there's an injury or etc. The drop in level, there is no drop in level really. So yeah, I really like him.
Yeah. You know what though? Let me bring Danny into it as well. Obviously, he's found this new thing with Bruno maybe playing a bit more deeper, Sabitzer further forward. Do you reckon he's going to persist with that, or is this the kind of situation where?
No, because we've seen Sabitzer look horrible in that role a few games ago. Like Man United,
but he did. But did he?
Manchester United fans have the memory of a fish. For those who don't know, if you Google it, I think the memory of a fish is 5 seconds exactly, and that's Man United fans on YouTube and social media. Bruno Fernandes has played 50% or more of his games at 10. That's his best position. That's where Ten Hag likes him. You get over it. All the changes that you've seen are because of injuries. When Anthony gets injured, that's when he gets pushed right wing. Casemiro suspended or Eriksen coming off at the hour, like Fez alluded to, Bruno's position changed. Doesn't want Marcus Rashford tracking back Trent, he puts Bruno left wing. He's our Swiss Army knife, but he has a position to play. In regards to Sabitzer, listen, I thought he was excellent today. Very, very direct, always on the move, always switched on. Any 50-50s, he's on it. He doesn't shirk responsibilities. He's gonna duel, and you have to do that in the Premier League. Is why even though he actually got injured and didn't get as much game time as he wanted to when he first came, that's why he's adapting so quickly, because he's on it physically and he's got the intelligence as well. Doesn't mean we have to sign him though. Just because you get a player on loan because of a problem you had, it doesn't mean he fits your long-term strategy or you do a deal just because it's cheap to do. I think Man United fans have to get out of this thinking. I've got no problems with Sabitzer having a good loan, and I think he will have a good loan. And then we bring in like better quality players in the summer.
At this stage right now, would you keep him? At this stage?
No, there's no need to keep him. And by the way, as well, like, at some point, long-term exposure, trust me, Saeed, you'll hear people moaning about his rolling first touch. Don't know if you've noticed it. Yeah, he's got a rolling first touch. He takes a first touch and then chases the ball. Stuff like that will piss people off a year from now. Short-term loan, you're not going to pay attention to it. You'll get over it. But we don't need to keep it.
Yeah, I'm missing a lot of midfielders, though. Don is probably going to leave. Fred is not being used in a certain role where he was before. McTominay will want to move on. So, there's a case.
I thought Man United fans wanted, if we're going to change and start bringing midfielders in, I thought Manchester United fans wanted cultured, technical, I'm talking technical players. I thought that's what we wanted. But you see
I
Sabitzer
think
come low.
I think he's technical to an extent, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
talking,
like a.
Saeed,
Go on.
let's be clear. I'm talking Frankie de Jong level. I'm talking Kakare level. I'm talking Enzo Lafite level.
You
I'm
can
talking
get that
level.
as part of a squad, though. But as
I'm
part of a
talking
squad,
that level. We're talking. I want two midfielders that look like that to come in. Otherwise, what are we doing here? What are we actually doing? We're just doing cheap. We're Liverpool now because there's a cheap deal to do. We do it. Now I'm okay. Listen, I think he was excellent today. I think he's going to have a good loan. I just don't think it means we have to buy him. That's all it is.
Does anyone disagree, or is anyone thinking that does anyone think the same as Danny? Adam, what about you? Do you think Sabitzer can have a role in this team long term?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm still selling the other guy. I'm still selling McFred. I'm still selling them. I'm selling Donny van der Beek as well, by the way. I think we can get two midfielders.
So who you got left with? Let's say
Exactly,
so you got McFred you're selling, Van der Beek you're selling.
So not you first. So now say you don't want to challenge the football club to go and buy players all of a sudden for Sabitzer because of a
I'm asking you a question. Like there's a lot leaving, no? So you're saying two midfielders.
I'm happy. Number one, Ten Hag. Trust me, when he gets his 11, he won't be rotating much anyway. So you know what I want on the bench? I want quality. One midfielder pushes Bruno or Ericsson on the bench, by the way. What does two midfielders do? Come on. We need to think steps ahead here. Sorry, Adam, I know you were going to answer the question.
No worries. Yeah, you know what the thing with Sabitzer is? I don't know where I'm at. It depends on the money we're having this summer. If we have new owners and we have money, okay, fine, he can go. And I would agree with Danny 100%. I want top quality players to come in midfield, 2 or 3 midfielders even. And Fred, McTominay, Sabitzer, they can all go. Donny van der Beek as well, fine by me. But if we have doubts and Bayern Munich are willing to do a 15, 20 million pounds, I think I would keep him. It really depends on what money we have, because I think he's a good player to have around. And I'd much rather have him on the bench than either Fred or McTominay. But we need more players. We just need more players. It just my position on Sabitzer really depends on what are we going to do this summer. And I think he's not really that much of a Ten Hag player, even though Ten Hag wants him. I think he's more suited to a Klopp, Rangnick, that type of player. He's a Red Bull product. You can see that he's not defensive and he's not attacking that much. He's just up and down. He's a very, very, very vertical player. I think Rangnick would have loved him last season. And Rangnick and Ten Hag, as much as they are both very, very high-level technicians, they don't play the same football. And the requirements of one is not the requirements of the other. And Ten Hag is a very, very pragmatic coach as well and very flexible. So he could do with players that maybe are not his ideal profile of players. And he could want to keep Sabitzer, but if he has all the money in the world, I don't think he wants Sabitzer to stay. I think he will go for other profiles of player. But I don't have a problem with him. I think he was very, very good. I think he's very intelligent. Of course, he's not necessarily what you could say my type of player, but I appreciate that. I appreciate directness as well. I appreciate IQ, and I appreciate work rate. And the thing is with the 2 loans we have, Weghorst and Sabitzer, they came in, and you can't really ask for more than what they've given us to get. You can't really be too overly critical.
Sorry, Adam, but from Weghorst you can.
I don't think you can that much. Not that much.
I totally disagree.
I'm going to elaborate.
Because
I really disagree.
He's not.
I really like.
We know that.
Yeah.
He's
I can't. I know. It just makes me uncomfortable thinking someone like you, because I know your standards. I understand your standards. Someone like you is okay with what Weghorst does, which is nothing. He does nothing.
One thing.
He has a chest. He has a thigh. He has a side-footed pass that you teach in grassroots football. He doesn't have aerial threat. He doesn't have a shot on goal. He can't do a light shoulder drop and turn and shoot, which is basic striker, by the way. Basic striker is hold, receive, turn, shoot. That's like basic striker stuff. You know that, and I know that.
He does other stuff. He does other stuff, and like I said, I don't think he is at the very highest level of strikers. I don't expect much more. He's fit. He has a good work rate, good first touch, and he tries to play the players around him. I can't expect him to be what he's not. I can't expect him to be a top-class striker. He came in for £2 million. Expectations were not that high, and he didn't surpass the expectations. I think he's all right. I can't expect. I'm more critical of Rashford than I am of Dan James because the ceilings are not the same. So you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
I
I can understand. It's just Weghorst for me. I'll be very honest, and I don't wanna come across as harsh or rude, but just from what I see, it's one of the worst possible people that we have brought in. In all honesty,
You know what
we
it
could
is?
have.
It's because you watch him live. It's because you watch him live. Like, I watch him on TV, and I can tell if I was watching this guy run live, I would not. And also, you know what it is as well? He gets overhyped. Like, the strengths in his game, we saw them
By
against
who?
Crystal Palace.
Who overhypes him?
By some people watching, they know who they are. You know, on the timeline. Get Weghorst. They'll show you a picture or a little video of hold-up play. I'm like, hold on a second. He received the ball in that situation 7 times. He got bullied 6 times. And you show me the clip the one time he...
Are you going to be one of these that say?
Wait.
These
And you're going to blow up the one time he did simple, basic, grassroots hold-up play like Faz is talking about. You can't gas that up. You to tell me we should sign him for those reasons. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Crystal Palace and Arsenal saw the blueprint for the way he should play. The more Ten Hag played him, the less I saw the benefits. I saw teams pressing us high, saying we don't have a threat. Play Weghorst. Keep him on the pitch. You've got no threat in behind. We'll press you high. Stop your build-up play. Bruno can't face forward. That Rashford is not a coincidence. The longer Weghorst played as a striker, that ball from Bruno to Rashford, you saw it less and less because they were stopping Bruno facing forward. Weghorst, no threat. All the games when Weghorst got taken off and Rashford got moved central, we improved.
I don't like this discredit.
No.
Let me cut you off there.
No.
You're talking too much now.
No.
When Rashford was scoring all the goals here,
No.
who was at the forefront of everything? It was Weghorst. Yes or no?
Listen, Adam's being balanced. I'm not talking to Adam. I'm talking to the people that overhype him. Because Faz is right. There's no reason we should be signing him. And that people blow up that he's done.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
He hasn't done an amazing. And you know what?
Let's not discredit him though as
but
well.
This is where, I'm not discrediting him because this is where I was going to land. This is why I differ than most people. Once I see him being ineffective, I leave the player alone. I look at the coach, and I'm like, you started him, 12 games in a row? 6 or 7, I get it. 8, 9, 10, you should have went back to the front 3 that I've been screaming for the moment Sancho came back. Because that was our best front 3 in the months of October, September, August, September, October. And I said that I've been saying that all season long. And lo and behold, we played our best football with that front 3. That's all it is. So I have a problem more with Ten Hag playing him and people overhyping him, not the player, because he come on a 3 and I don't expect much. Like Adam's logic is right. If you've got a low talent level, I'm not going to be angry because you're not something, because you're not exceeding your talent level. Like that. That's illogical. I'd never do that. It's just the overhyping and saying we need to sign him and blah blah blah, and Ten Hag over and playing him. That's where I had issues. That's all. No,
that's fair. That's fair.
If I start drilling down on Weghorst, you lot will actually dislike me because I'll really drill down on a striker, and I'm not even going to compare him to Championship. I'm going to compare him to League 2 strikers because you lot know me. I watch a lot of League 2, League 1. Paul Mullen. If you know, them type of striker games as well. I'll be watching them. And if I drill down on Weghorst, you lot will really start disliking me. I really don't understand, Danny, where they get this from. And this is not to, obviously, Adam or anyone, but it's very basic, simple attributes of a striker. You have that assistant, you have your assistant coach, you hold him, the ball comes, you turn this side, you go, you shoot with your left, you shoot with your right, and you've got that net inside the goal. The guy does nothing a striker is supposed to do. He does nothing to the point where Ten Hag dropped him in a 10. He dropped him in a 10 so that Ten Hag facilitates what he's better at.
That's on
which
Ten
is
Hag.
holding.
That's not on him. That's on Ten Hag. Yeah. Ten Hag had him
even if you don't say that's not on him.
No, Ten Hag had him as a makeshift DM against Liverpool. He was splitting Casemiro and Fred and had Weghorst dropping into DM. That's not on Weghorst. That's on Ten Hag. That's where we did.
He dropped him lower so he can bring the ball down and then release the ball. Can you imagine the amount of goals that Weghorst himself could have picked up if he had an ounce of vision to be in the right positions at the right time?
Yeah,
Okay, numerous times, and I don't want to go on about Weghorst anyways.
yeah,
I'm gonna
we don't
land on
want
this
to spend too long on
the
Weghorst
most
because
simple
he's not
thing.
playing.
Hold on. Let me just say the most simple thing. Fundamental of press. You don't press with one person, right? You press in all your front forwards. You press in. If one goes, the next goes, the next goes. You and I have seen it with our blind, naked eye. Rashford's gone. Weghorst is still buffering at 360p. He's still buffering.
But that's the plan, though. That's the plan. Rashford, Weghorst is never gonna be running across Rashford.
Oh,
That's the plan.
is that the plan, yeah?
I can't even.
I know that, but it's the plan.
I'm not even at 720p. I'm at 360p.
So one guy going by himself and everyone else sitting to plan side. Okay, interesting.
No, it's not about that. But what are we thinking that we're going to see this time machine and Weghorst gets past Rashford? We're not going to see that. But listen, I don't want to spend too long on Weghorst. There's over 600 of you in the chat. Please smash the like button on the video. Samuel Tway is coming in with a very controversial comment. He's, Samuel Tway, man. You know what I mean? I might have to make a new show called Controversial Takes here, and you might be the lead of this, But he's saying, "Yo, I'm done with Sancho. We bought him for 100 million to be a superstar winger, i.e., Vinicius Junior, not to be a team player. What is the? I'm guessing X factor.
Yeah, they
What is the factor? Where's the flair, pace, goals? The guy's lazy and soft. Don't fall for sanitizer, which I believe he means Sabitzer. Sani, is he harsh there? Is he? What's he saying there, man? Because that's strong, man. Strong.
That is very strong. That is very strong. I thought Sancho had quite a good game today, and his
Very
game's
good
not
game.
about
Very
pace.
good game.
His game's not about pace. It's about the intelligence in his play and picking the right pass, which is exactly what he did for the McTominay goal. There were so many times where everyone's like, "Oh my God, Sancho, run, run, run!" But he's not about breaking the lines. He's not got that shearing pace that a Rashford has. He's the sort of player that will play in the balls for a Rashford to chase, for example. So I don't see where this idea that, oh, he needs this pace, for example. He's more of a creative outlet. Yeah, fine, goals are key. And people are going to look at, let's say, Saka's record, for example, or even Rashford's, for example, be like, oh my God, they've got so many goals. But Sancho's not that type of player. Plus, as we know, and Danny's alluded to earlier, the best front three is definitely Sancho, Rashford, Antony, right? And when Sancho's on the left, I think Martial as well kind of came on second half as well. But you could see that Sancho, this game, when he has runners in behind, he's a threat. And I think today was a great game for Sancho. Big up to Sancho. Great to see. And hopefully we see more of it as well.
Yeah. The thing is, that comment is there's a bit in that comment that it's so wrong. If he's not supposed to be a team player. He's absolutely supposed to be a team player. How can you buy someone not? You cannot. You can like aggression and ego at times, but even your most egotistical players, you want them to be team players. You want it doesn't make any sense. And I think Sancho is talent-wise, I think he's different class. His relationship with the ball, the way he sees little pockets of space, the way he has the ball and his head is up and he's looking and he's scanning. And I think Sancho is different class. I think we need quality players. He may not be a success. He may flop. But we need to have quality players until we have the team going well. And when the team is good and he's not cutting it, fine. Let him go at that moment. But we cannot let go of quality players before the team is ready to compete. It makes zero sense because you cannot build that competitive team with players who are below par. They're not at the required level. I think Sancho was different class. I really, really like him. I think his dribbling is excellent. And I think his passes are very, very smooth. Very elegant player. And I think there's a place for him in that team. And I've never had any doubts. And even with people criticizing him, and they criticized him since last season endlessly, I've never thought he was as bad as people made. Yes, he had some absolutely shocking games and some performances and cameos where you say, you know what, I need more. I know you're not the strongest, but at least try to be strong. I hear that. I really do. But it was over the top. It was very harsh. And I think he's a quality player. Real quality player.
Big up to HK Music. My guy said, my striker is back. Just pray he can stay fit. Listen, brother, you're going to have to do a lot of praying, my brother. Big up to HK Music again. Says, United fans don't know much about football. Why they like pace and power as and they don't rate technical ability. We've been
That's
a
not
counter-attacking
true.
team for the past 7 years.
That's
Why?
not true.
Why don't
Not
blame
true.
them?
I think
Before,
I
That's
think
not
before
true.
I
You know what
agree
it
with
is?
Danny,
There's too much extremism. The
I like a
problem
bit
at
of both. You can have a bit of both.
exactly.
A
The
good
problem
balance.
at Manchester United the last 7 years, we've had technical players with no steel about them, and players with something about them who have less technical ability.
Yeah.
That's been the problem at Man United Football Club.
You know what? I think that is
Someone like Martial, if he had Rashford's fire,
yeah.
Well, I think he did have it, to be fair.
different.
And
If
he's lost it.
Rashford had Martial's technical ability,
I know.
different. But we haven't had the mixture, like you said, side of both. That's been the problem. That's
the
been
problem.
the issue at Man United. There's always been
Another thing. It's been so while since we've been good that we forget what it takes to be good. It's been a while. Like we had Chicharito and Ole on the bench scoring every time they came on, and if we had someone on the bench scoring every time he went on, we had the whole fan base saying, "Oh, he needs to start. He needs." No. Sometimes you have good players with good goal scoring ratio on the bench because we are a very good team, and we need to go back to that. To be honest.
Can I ask
one
a
more?
question?
Oh, sorry, go.
Danny,
Can I
No,
just speak on Sancho quickly?
Yeah, go on. I'm
I
going to
think
ask a question. Go on.
I think he was fantastic. I really do. Because again, been critical. He's one of the most highest paid players for his age in world football or in the league. There is a level of expectation, that when we bought him, we chased him for a few years and etc. All of which is fine. But first thing first is the kid is super gifted. He's super gifted, and he's under a manager who is super good at breaking. When you break a player and then rebuild that player back. That's what Ten Hag is really good at. And that's what Ten Hag is going to be doing with Jadon Sancho. Not yesterday. I'm even forgetting. Today, he had a fantastic game. The thing that this comment that was made by the person that is a team game, that is the exact point. Number one, Ten Hag football is possession-based football. And in a possession-based football, you want players who can have the ball stick to their feet like glue. And we have two of them. Martial and Jadon Sancho. These two, when they have the ball in their feet, you can have all the defenders and fullbacks press them, but they will find a way of making that most beautiful, silky pass, the most perfectly weighted
Amad
pass
Diallo as well.
forward.
Amad Diallo.
Boy,
Amad Diallo, obviously, at the moment he's on loan, so I'm not considering. But yeah, there's another talent in there as well, right? Jadon Sancho, what we specifically saw today, I keep saying yesterday, today, because my days are so long. I'll start my day at 7 a.m. I thought it was yesterday. Sancho, what you saw today is just composed, polished. He don't rush when he, when we're thinking he needs to rush, he doesn't. He waits when he needs to. One of the things that I just picked out is he doesn't at times when Rashford have the ball. Jadon should have gone and Rashford could have slipped the ball through, etc. But it's all of that is okay. He's starting to build back his minutes. I'm very pleased with that. You guys know how much I rate a 90 minutes. I keep banging on about 80 minutes, 70 minutes. I love his playing plenty of minutes. I love that he's tracked back. You see him, the desire when he doesn't have the ball to run back. All of this is signs that he wants to stay in Manchester United. He wants to graft, and I love a grafter. His talent, his ability, no question. He's also unselfish. He will always pick the pass to get someone else who is in a better position to score. He's ice cold in front of goal as well. He'll take a bit of risk and make sure when he shoots, it's going to go in. He's got loads of signs of improvement, and he's 23 years old. I am not going to be, saying X, Y, and Z about a 23-year-old. Look at just an example, Wan-Bissaka. We bought him a good few years ago, and only this year, Wan-Bissaka's gone. He's gone on a different level now, where I'm enjoying Wan-Bissaka so much. I know Danny's might be a bit different, but I'm enjoying Wan-Bissaka a lot. Imagine now if we give Jadon Sancho a year, like this, finish this season with Ten Hag, come next season, I actually believe Jadon Sancho will light up Premier League and the world of football because he's got it in him.
Absolutely. Big up to HK Moose said, I was not referring to panel members, but a lot of United fans, especially on Twitter, only rate the PMP players Rashford, Bruno, Garnacho, and do not rate the technical plays, Martial, Sancho, etc. Danny, I'm going to bring you into it here. The thing with me and what I said is my fear with Sancho is if he doesn't get rhythm in his game and he's not playing consistently, you won't see this from Sancho. He's not an impact player. He's not. So he has to keep on playing. My worry is that is he going to get them same opportunities next season? And people can say, yeah, because he's a quality player. But if you're not producing and you're not doing it when it matters the most, then and this is when Garnacho comes off the bench, he can do that sometimes. But Sancho, you know the qualities, but can he keep doing it next season? And he's a rhythm player. Look at him now. I've asked for 2 games on the bounce. What have we seen? 2 good performances. It's not rocket science, but can he be that consistent person? That's my fear about Sancho. You know.
I think it's an uphill battle for him this season because he missed 3 months of the season. Right. So you're coming in the business end where everybody expects you to be sharp, but actually you're back in your preseason again. Right. He's effectively in his preseason again because he missed all that football. Yeah. So I never create poison challenges for players. I don't like doing it. So I temper my expectations with him. I think you guys are gassing up his performance. I don't think he was fantastic today. I thought he was decent to good. If you think that's a fantastic Jadon Sancho performance, when he actually puts in a fantastic performance, I don't know what words.
Again, that's not the barometer. You just said you're judging him on now. So why can't we judge him off what now?
But even with that barometer, like it's still a decent. He's putting in the performances I saw him do in the early part of the season, which is solid. I thought it was a solid game from him. I don't think it was an amazing game from him at all. Because I know what a fantastic Jadon Sancho looks like. That's why I'm not going to gas him up that performance.
Give me a game that was fantastic from Jadon Sancho.
In the Man United shirt, ain't been too many. That's what I'm saying to you. He hasn't hit. Jadon
has levels to go.
I want to be clear on something. Yeah, I rate Jadon Sancho higher than anybody on this panel. I think.
That's fair.
I think he's the best passer, the best finisher, and has the best vision at the club, clear of everybody. That's how highly I rate him. I watched this guy recording games on my BT box for 2.5 years just to watch this boy, hoping he would come here. Yeah, that player I saw in the Bundesliga, he's nowhere near that player.
That's what I'm saying. I get that. I don't think I'm judging that. I'm just saying he's had 2 good performances.
I'm going to get to that.
Have I overgassed him?
I'm going to get to. No, I was talking about the other 3. They used the words fantastic. I don't think it was fantastic.
Yeah, fast.
I thought he was good today. I thought he was solid.
I thought the performance.
He's so talented. He's going to show you things that we haven't seen in a Man United shirt.
You know what?
Which is fine.
Yeah, I would agree with Danny. I would agree with Danny here. I think he played a very good game, but I think he is different class.
He's a fantastic talent.
Yeah, exactly.
And
he is
saw the talent.
But this performance was not out of this world. If maybe I phrased it wrongly, I think I would agree with you.
No, but I get why you guys are saying it because you saw the glimpses of magic from him, and that comment from a few minutes ago. Listen, Cruyff said it best, or was it Van Basten? I forget which Dutch guy it was. Football's a simple game, but it's hard to play football simple. Jadon Sancho plays simple football. Like, there's a little pass that he did from the wing, bodies around him, little side foot pass into the box. It's so simple, but a lot of players don't play that pass. I promise you. They overcomplicate things.
Exactly.
Yeah? There's one player particularly in his team I won't mention. He does it a lot. He pisses me off. It's why I want him playing through the middle or not on the left while the team is constructed this way. But I don't like to...
Rashford. We will discuss that. Let's discuss that next. Adam, make it last point, and then we'll discuss that.
Let me just to go back quickly. Ten Hag, I did not like what he was doing when Sancho came back. Right wing, attacking mid, left wing. That's no way to get a player back into rhythm, in my opinion. Play him left wing, play Rashford through the middle. They'll thrive there. Next season's a bigger issue, but I didn't even like it. Listen, he had pre-season right wing. He was doing fine, and Ten Hag went and bought a right winger anyway. So that's why I'm warning people. It's an uphill battle for Jadon Sancho to nail a place down. When you look at all of the context, the seasons he had, the time he spent out, Ten Hag buying his man for 90 million, preferring Rashford as a left winger if we get a striker. All of these things make it an uphill battle for Jadon Sancho. That's why I don't set a poison chalice for him. But I rate him highly. If he gets game time on the left, I think he'll end the season well done.
Big up to Sandeep HD's dead. He says, man's out here gassing up mid performances. I like Sancho, but he ain't surviving this league. It's too physical.
Yeah,
That's a fair comment. A big up HK Music says once Ten Hag gets the better midfielders and hopefully better fullbacks and a keeper, United will keep the ball more. The likes of Sancho and Ante will even get better. Let's discuss Rashford. Let's discuss Rashford. Sani, we'll go for you first. Injury concern. Is that a worry for you, or I don't know? Can this front three of Sancho, Martial, and Anthony? A lot of people said to me today, that's their best front three because it's more technical. It's more, I don't know, possession based. They can keep the ball with Rashford. Maybe you're not going to get that from him, even though he's getting the goals. Could we have a different style of play now? Rashford, Martial, and Sancho. Different way of playing, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it might be a good thing.
No,
I know it's never good for Rashford to be out and never to be injured, but I'm just saying maybe a different way for Ten Hag.
No, what you're alluding to is correct. They're a hell of a lot more technical as a front three compared to, let's say, Sancho, Rashford, and Ante. And the key is obviously Martial. He's a lot more technical on the ball than Rashford. And yes, it does probably help the possession style we're trying to implement. But I just think Rashford is still a key miss because he's still got a lot of our goals. And I know you can put another player in that position and they could easily get the goals. Like Martial got the goal today. But Rashford has been a big reason why we've scored a lot of goals this season. And if we need a player to get him behind, I don't think personally I can trust Martial to run him behind all the time. He's more of a player to run at you because he's so good on the ball. So it is a concern. But I think Adam mentioned it earlier in the stream. It's come at a nicer time because Martial's still coming back. We've still got key players to come back. Of course, we saw Eriksen come back on the pitch today, which is great. And hopefully if Sancho, he had a very good game today, I think. If you can keep this up, keep progressing, then it's only going to make this front three more potent, especially with Rashford out. I thought Anthony had an all right game as well. Although one thing, I just hope he finds a right foot somewhere, summons it. I know it's Easter weekend this week. I know there's a miracle with Christ resurrected and stuff. Maybe he can find his right foot or something because every single time he cuts onto his left foot, he never goes on his right. And that would obviously be helpful as well. But back to your question, I think, it will be a miss because Rashford's been great for us. But that front three is very, very technical. So I'm intrigued to see what it's going to look like, especially on Thursday.
Absolutely. Big up to Abdi. Sheikh says Sancho is an overhyped player. How many GA does he have with Man United? When was the last time you've seen him with put a good cross or a shot on goal? Exactly.
That's very lazy.
Hey, well, today he did.
Did you see the defense splitting pass today? The perfect way. Perfect.
Exactly. People don't want to see what they want to see. Abdi Sheikh, love for the super chat, but come on, man, you gotta have some balance to what you're saying, man. Big up to Fuad Kudan, says he's trolling here. Says when we say unlock Sancho season 3, Pogba season 6 2.0. Question for the panel. I'm gonna start off with you, Adam. Then I'll go around. HK says I want to ask the panel: can Rashford and Osimhen work together? Does United need to keep in mind Rashford when buying a striker? That's a good question. And you, Danny, will get your point involved fast. You can get yours well involved, and Sani. But Rashford, Adam, start off with you. Striker. I'm more looking at him as a striker now, more than a winger next season. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what it is with me, but I've kind of changed my mind. I'm looking at him, and I think he's rushing. Like when he's
not a good winger. He's not a good winger.
Yeah.
He's not a good winger. He's never been a good winger. He's a good goal scorer. And if you want him to score from out wide, you need to have a team that will be built in that way. So you need to have a team that will counter press, a team that is winning the ball immediately in the opposition half, and then immediately in a situation to score. I don't think Rashford is a good winger. And if you ask me as striker, I think it's our best option at the moment. But he's not the best striker we could have. We could have many better strikers. So that's my problem with Rashford. It's not really I think Rashford's biggest flaw is his profile. It's very difficult to fit in. It needs a very, very specific setting to have Rashford playing. Because if you want to play with Rashford on the left, well, then you need to have another goal scorer out wide. Because you cannot have your goal scorer being only one winger. Because you have no balance, and it's very easy to play against. And we've seen it. We have multiple examples, and we talked about it with Danny and with many people again. And Liverpool is always the classic example with Firmino, Salah, and Mane. Because you need to have the balance. You need to have the other player on the right. And for example, we said it many times, Martial with Rashford and Mason Greenwood, you have that. Because Greenwood is more of a goal scorer than a winger as well. So you need to have that threat from both sides. Rashford on the wing alone with Anthony, who is more of a winger, the team is unbalanced. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Rashford as a number 9, fine. But then again, he moves a lot. And is he the striker you want to be always in the box if we have to? It just, I think his profile is the biggest problem. I don't know if I'm making sense to you, but
I disagree. I disagree. His profile's not a problem because we've seen multiple managers get goals out of him. So if you're a goal scorer, and that's your
regarding the question I said.
No, I'm just saying that I don't think his profile's the problem. It's more so how the team is constructed overall. And see that previous comment about unlocking, let's be clear. Everybody needs to be unlocked. The issue is when people use it for one player. Everybody benefits if there's better players around. Everyone. Literally everyone. Yeah? Benzema benefits from having Modric. Trust me, he does. He benefits from having Vinicius, as good as he is.
Vinicius, that's more Vinicius, I think, for me.
Everybody benefits. For me, it's very straightforward. The problem we have right now is the base of the team can't build play well, right? It's not just the midfield, it's the actual base. It's one of the centre-backs who's a legend, so I don't want to get onto him. The right-backs are wishy-washy. They both got weaknesses and strengths. The goalkeeper, we know, despite what some people say. And then we haven't had Martial through the middle. So this is the way I would put it. With an Osimhen, I don't like Rashford and Osimhen together.
No, of course.
If you're doing that, I need the rest of the team completely reconstructed. I want overlapping wingers. I don't want inverted wingers. I want overlapping wingers.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm taking Bruno out and I'm having 2 central midfielders, not attacking midfielders, central midfielders. And I'm rebuilding the back line as well and the goalkeeper.
And you have to have a front 2, probably.
Kim Min-jae.
But if you get a well-rounded striker, Rashford's profile works fine. Anthony.
With Osimhen. Would he work with Osimhen? That was a question as well.
No.
Would he work with Osimhen? I don't like it. I'll be honest, I don't like it.
Because do you see Rashford crossing to Osimhen?
I just don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't.
Mm.
We become now either. I want us to become a less direct football team as time goes on. You get Osimhen, Rashford, the creative midfielder is Bruno.
Nah, bro, that's chaos right there.
It's
Right?
chaos.
Come on. And I love Bruno, I love Rashford, but come on, we want to become a more progressive team that's less direct. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So I don't like it.
Absolutely.
I reckon they bag goals, but it won't be pretty. It'll be crosses, direct passes, and yeah.
Because the thing is, people talk about the goals, and fine, you need to score the goals. But my thing is, as long as someone scores them, we're fine. Because now, is De Gea in the race for Golden Gloves?
Yes, he is. Even though he's conceded so many goals, yeah.
No, because that's a stat that should be awarded to centre halves. If we're being honest.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a team game. It's a team game anyway.
It's a team game. So now you're telling me that we are not conceding that many goals, and we are conceding less goals than last season. I think it's fair to say. Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are, but we are way more solid defensively.
Yeah.
And our goal difference before the last 2 games was +4. That means the problem is creating the goals and playing well. Because Rashford has 28, 29, what is it? Close to 30, I think.
But Adam, it's also being clinical as well. Like we don't have Saka and Martin. Saka and Martinelli are clinical, man. These lot
they're creating so many chances.
I know.
You get the feeling. You get the feeling because we had Ronaldo, we had Lukaku, we had Cavani, we had many players that are goal scorers, and it's just the United fan base has been so poor. The club has been so poor for the last 10 years that we are under this illusion that top striker don't miss. Top strikers miss a lot of chance. Salah miss a lot of chances. Lukaku miss a lot of chances. Lewandowski miss a lot. Cristiano Ronaldo misses quite a few. The strikers miss chances. But since we have not been in that situation for over a decade or about a decade now, we think that we are going to go and sign an Osimhen or a Kane, and he's never ever going to miss. The problem is not really missing the chances, it's creating them. Because if you create chances on the day, like all the game, at some point you're going to score. And another thing, if the problem is really is the finishing, and you're creating you're creating chances all game long, I mean, well, then it's easy to fix. You say, you know what, we just need a better striker. Then you can go and pick it because you know that is the remaining problem to solve. We've been creating chances only for the 2 last games and a period before the World Cup. It's not enough to know really if clinical is the problem or not. It is. It is. I would agree.
I think Pep has proved if you have a well-constructed football team in the defensive and middle third to first and second phase, right? You're going to create high-quality chances and a high volume of them. Meaning, the level of finisher you require is not as high.
Not exactly.
Proven that to be a fact. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I'd like a striker, but I need him to be well-rounded. I don't want to. You know what it is, Saeed? I don't want a centre forward. I'll put it like that. I don't want a centre forward. Yeah.
So you want a false nine?
I want a striker. I want a well-rounded striker. A Dwight York, a Andy Cole, who's well-rounded. Andy Cole's underrated. Like, don't forget, he set up goals for Dwight York too.
Yeah, I know.
I want a well-rounded striker that can bring people into play, but eat when they need to eat as well.
Exactly, because
Harry Kane.
you know what? Just quickly there, we've seen teams win World Cup and major trophies with only midfielders. If you look at Spain and Barcelona, but you've never seen a team win with only goal scorers. It never happens. You can have midfielders everywhere, and you can actually win trophies. Of course, you like to have that top striker. We always like that. But just we've seen it. We've seen it with Rashford, Cavani, Greenwood, and Bruno in the 10. They're all goal scorers, and people think that it's a matter of arithmetics. If you put 24 players that score more than 20 goals a season, you're going to get over 80 goals. It's not like that. That's not how it works.
And we need to stop picking and choosing. We need both.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Man United fans, because of who are owned by Saeed, sorry, we know we've been talking for long. We're always supposed to pick and choose. We should have, Man United, we're supposed to have the best of both worlds.
Yes, but listen, hopefully,
That's
Ten
what's
Hag's
supposed
got a plan. Hopefully, Ten Hag's got a plan. Big up to Samuel says you can teach Rashford. You can teach Rashford how to be a striker. This guy has elite tools. You don't find these players like this, and trust me, big clubs will come. What do you think, Faz? Are you worried about the if Rashford is out injured for a while? If it's serious, do you think that others can step up?
Obviously
Anthony. Anthony was next to you. He looked a bit sad, I don't know if you were there, but he looked very, very sad. He sat on the touchline for a while, man. I think he undeservedly got took it off, man.
That's fine. A certain someone in the fan base was saying when Garnacho sat on the stairs, that was bad attitude. People were saying when Ronaldo sat on the stairs, that's bad attitude. This is Danny. This is behavior that you want to see. You want to see your player disappointed that they've been subbed off, because that creates more desire. That creates more hunger. That creates more self realization that I should have finished my chances. I could have been on the score sheet. As much as football is a team game, you also come down individual scenarios where you want to put the team in a better position, right, with your attributes. So Anthony is simply doing that. I love that for Anthony. I love players also. If you sit on the stairs, that just means you're comfortable around the gaffer and the team, and you're in a comfortable place. Ain't no freaking big deal. Ain't no big deal at all. When Ronaldo sits in the stairs, this is not big deal at all. He looked upset. I know what you mean, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad, because I am a huge Anthony, fan. I really, really like him. And hopefully he can go and work on his finishing and say, you know what, next time I get my chances, next time I fall in these type of scenarios, I'm not gonna miss, and I'm gonna take my chances. Perfectly fine. These type of things, they light that fire in you to take you to another level. Ronaldo had it in his earlier years. We've seen some of the best players in the world punch up the freaking dugout. They've kicked the bottle and etc. Absolutely nothing wrong. People who want to make certain thing out of it, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what you lot are thinking and what you lot are fishing for, but it ain't me. That's them. God bless them, but it ain't me. I'm okay with it. I'm fully okay with it. Just to touch on, if I may, on the Rashford thing, Rashford is one of the best players that we could have asked for. Marcus Rashford
with that, mate.
is having a 30 GA season, at top flight football in 4 competitions, playing week in, week out. Week in, week out. And to think that he is not going to be in the conversation of around some of the best players in the world is absolutely atrocious.
No,
Is that
it-
atrocious?
no, it
Because
is.
Marcus Rashford, whether people like it or not, about if he didn't play, the team would have created more chances. Maybe so, but the team also didn't create more chances when he was still on the pitch because he was the one
No, you
having
asked the
to
question.
find. Sorry, Adam. He was the one having to find the goals out of thin air. This is the same Marcus Rashford that has had fantastic season without Martial, without Sancho, without Mason Greenwood. This is the same Marcus Rashford who had a fantastic season when Ole came second, and he had and I broke my back. He had a fantastic season then, and he's had a fantastic season without 3 of his rings. What do you call it? Kryptonite gems from his Thanos gauntlet. Without that, Marcus Rashford is having a 30 GA season. Give him an Osimhen, give him a Harry Kane, give
makes no
him
sense.
a Vlahovic, Gonçalo Ramos. And I tell you what, top players know how to adapt. It's just like molding certain aspects of your game during preseason, and you see these players come back and do certain things differently. And that's what you will see Marcus Rashford do. Marcus Rashford is not old. He's not 28, 29. He's 25-year-old. He's just about starting to take off into his prime years. People, the thing with Manchester United fan base, Sancho doesn't have GA. Well, Marcus Rashford is a GA merchant. You can never win. The fact is, you can never win. That's the fact. Marcus Rashford right now is going toe-to-toe with some of the best footballers in the world, and that's period.
That's not period. That's not period. And you know what the thing, Faz? And you're my guy, But sometimes when you say stuff, you need to think it through before saying it. Because
I think it through. I believe you me, I think it through.
No, because you said some things. You said give him an Osimhen so they can both score.
Marcus Rashford will 100%. Okay. One of the things I like this. You said
something interesting.
If you give an Osimhen, who's going to be, if you get an Osimhen, this is my interpretation. Marcus Rashford, Ten Hag will automatically make Marcus Rashford play in a way where Marcus Rashford gets less goals and more assists. He's going to start scoring the ball more.
But I'm criticizing Rashford for his overall play. So you want another striker so that Rashford changes his whole game. That means you want Rashford, just Rashford. You don't want the player that he is. You just want his name. And another thing you said we are not, when we take Rashford out of the team, we are creating chances. And chances that were not created when he was there because he had to do it himself. No. That's the wrong question to ask. Why were we not creating chances with Rashford on the team? Is the right question.
We had a 6'6", 360
no, that's easy, and that's easy.
Internet striker.
No, Brie. No, mate. That's too easy. That's too easy. We moved Rashford to number 9, less involved in the game, and we started creating chances. And look, it's not Rashford that's creating the chances. It's the whole team. So that means the striker is not really the one creating. My point is, we started creating chances the moment we moved Rashford at number 9. And Rashford is not the one creating the chances. So that means it cannot be Weghorst's fault. Do you follow my logic?
I think you guys are conflating things, innit? I'll be honest with you. It's. Do you know what it is? If you get an Osimhen, Faz, right? The nuance required everywhere else to build the team correctly is higher now. You need to be even more precise.
Exactly.
Whereas if you get a well-rounded striker, you don't have to be as precise when you're picking other positions.
I think Marcus Rashford plays better with the likes of Harry Kane. I do.
I agree with you. But with an Osimhen, now I tell you how we create chances. You're going to see Bruno ending up on the wings, whipping balls in. Yeah. That means we need to get an overlapping fullback. Anthony's not a direct chance creator, so scratch him. Then you've got one other midfielder. Luke Shaw's going to end up doing the daily blind role. Like, where's the creativity actually going to come from? Where's it going to come from? Like, what are we going to have to do as a football team, from the goalkeeper all the way up to feed Rashford and Osimhen? It's just, it requires more precision, in my opinion. Just requires more precision.
You're
That's
on
all.
mute, Saeed.
Saeed, you're on mute.
Just get me
We're
Harry.
gonna now,
Just
what I
get,
was
just
saying,
get, just get me Harry Kane, and we've got, trust me, we won't have an issue with Rashford left with Harry Kane.
Yeah,
If
Harry
you don't
Kane-
get Harry Kane, bigger problem, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
right,
From a
yeah.
footballing point of view.
someone saying I'm having second thought on Osimhen. No. Listen, these guys cannot fool me. I've seen enough of Osimhen to say that he is perfect for this Man United
Oh,
team.
yeah.
So these guys
He could
can't
be.
fool me.
He could be. But do you see him
Yeah.
play with Rashford, Saeed? Because my thing is, I don't want the whole team to change for Rashford. I don't want the whole team to change for Martial or for Sancho. My thing is, people say I have an agenda or I like these players. I don't want any player to go to be the priority. I want the team. If you tell me to have Osimhen and Rashford means we change everybody, I'd much rather have Osimhen and remove just Rashford. It's
Yeah.
easy.
But
Yeah.
then now, I get what you're saying.
He's
But
just-
I get
okay,
it.
but if you do that, Adam, now your roadmap, you've given yourself something else to do. Because don't get me wrong, I would sell any player in this Man United team, but I need something significant in return. Significant. I ain't just giving up 30 goals for no reason. I need something in return for those 30 goals that I'm missing. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And that goes for anybody else in this team.
Yeah,
People
absolutely.
are forgetting Marcus Rashford can play on the left, can play on the right, can play in the middle.
No, not
Yeah,
right, not right.
and it's like,
Not right.
okay, he's an inside forward who's a bit greedy, sure. But what's to say that he won't be creative? Because, by the way, he does take centre backs and midfielders for a spin every so often. He does. They question his dribbling ability. They question this, that, the other. What's to say Ten Hag won't work with Marcus Rashford? Benny McCarthy won't work with Marcus Rashford to make him more creative. It's like, I'm not saying you're saying that, Adam, by the way, but I'm just saying it comes across like they've just written off Marcus Rashford cannot be creative. I'm not writing
But
that
he's
off.
not
I
a
think
creative
Marcus Rashford
player.
could be
He's not
creative.
Yeah, but he's not exactly. He
Rashford
can't be.
is a goal scorer, and when he's confident with the football, will stretch teams and take people on when he's confident. That's why I think he's best. I've moved this way. Shout out to Ton, my boy Ton. He told me at the start of the season, trust me, Rashford is the striker. Sold me on it. I looked at it, did my research.
I'm sold as well.
Ten Hag will like him as a striker. And bear in mind, people tell me he's not a striker, but he's a goal scorer.
Goal scorer.
And if you've got, if I'm going to Napoli,
I
if I'm going Napoli,
he's definitely a striker, but he can be creative as well.
And I'm dropping 100 M's plus. I'm dropping it on the Georgian boy Kvaratskhelia or whatever his name is. I'm not getting.
Kvaratskhelia. Yeah.
I'm getting more creativity because just like Marcus Rashford's a better finisher than Sterling, so it gives you an idea.
Oh yeah.
What you can do if your main source of goals is someone like Marcus Rashford. The blueprint is there. Just create more chances, high quality.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's a good nuance, you know? He's a goal scorer, but he's not a striker and he's not a winger. So that's why I said earlier, I think his profile is a bit problematic because that's what I meant. He's not really a striker, but he scores goals. So it's a difficult one.
Absolutely. We're gonna wrap it up here. Gonna run through the last couple of super chats. Guys, make sure you like the video, man. It's been a good debate show. Like that's what we give you on the debate show, people, man. Proper debates where we don't hide away from any discussion. Every opinion counts, and we put it to the people, man. And then you guys can object. You know what I mean? So big up HK says Rashford and Sancho never use their left foot. So why does everyone expect Anthony to use his right?
They use it a bit more, to be honest.
Yeah, a little bit more. Big up to Fastility Stones. Come on. Rashford is in a good goal scoring form this season. His overall play has not been that good. When Rashford played with Ronaldo, he couldn't do anything. That's a good point as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, Samuel Twain, man, let's try and be respectful in the comments. He's trying to call you a fake professor, Adam. You know what I mean? He said, what is he on about? But listen, man, big up Samuel Twain. Big up everybody that sent the super chats, but try and be respectful in the chat. Alien tells us, meanwhile, Rashford assists to Martial. Yeah. Tomorrow's show will be about Martial, people. On the Sunday Unfiltered podcast, we'll be talking about Martial tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that one. Guys, we're going to wrap it up here. It's been a good one. Please like the video. Make sure you join Faz's stream literally after this right now, carrying on the stream. But yeah, Faz, man, big up to you. Let them know your content. What do you do on a match day? Let them know, man.
I'm here, man. I had Twitter on a bit of a choke today with the match day squad. I thought, let me wake up everyone.
You're teasing, man.
I have to, man. Don't act like your favorite brands don't do this with you. Big up Boohoo and them, man. Had to tease the timeline a little bit, but yeah, man, I'm here. I'll be obviously doing a lot of content around academy football in the coming months as well, and next season as well. So watch out for that. Obviously, big up Man United, who's allowed me a bit of access to work with them on that stuff. So yeah, I'll be doing lots of content around that. But regular business as usual, man. Regular business as usual. You know where to find me. Big up all the brothers as well. It's always nice to bounce off debates and even go back and sleep on it and think maybe Adam was actually chatting shit. No, check. Yeah, big up the brothers, man. It's always love. It's always love.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up my guy Sadie, man. He did a very, very good charity, man, this weekend, man. Let them know what you did, man. And then let them know what you
I appreciate that. So I cycled from the 6 football stadiums within the Midlands that are in the top flight. I had to do it within 5 hours for Acorns Children's Hospice. We raised 1.6k in the month of March. So big up to everyone who's obviously donated. But yeah, cycled from Molyneux, so that's Wolves, to Walsall to the Albion, West Brom to Villa to Birmingham City, and then the longest one was Birmingham City to Coventry City. So managed to get to that, and then managed to get to the game today. That was good. I did a vlog. That's on my YouTube channel. Check it out if you guys have got some time.
All in one day.
Within 5 hours. We did it in like 4 hours 56 minutes. So
well done.
well done, man.
Absolutely knackered. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, check out the channel, Sani That Sports Guy. I'm on Instagram as well. But shout out Saeed, of course. Subscribe to Saeed TV, giving me the platform to come on here. So I really appreciate it, and big up the panel as well.
Absolutely, man. Big up to you. Make sure you check out his channel. Big up Danny in the Devil Details. Let them know where we can find you. Any space? What's the spaces saying, man? I've not been active in the spaces, man.
I ain't been active either, man. Man United fans lost when we lose games, or they lose their minds.
Do they?
People were
Is it like YouTube? You know how YouTube is like different to like what's it like on spaces? Is it just mad?
It's people are Ten Hag out because of people like you and Adam who were Ollie out. And you know what's weird? They're using the same arguments you two use. That's why I was onto you two. Because I knew
I blame Saeed.
I blame Saeed as well, but you guys went.
I was vindicated though. I was vindicated.
No, you were always going to be vindicated. It's just the way you would go about it was. So
what do you mean always vindicated? All along. You were the one that's been stubborn then, will you?
I weren't being. I always said if you just say he's not good enough to win and he's this level, cool. But it's he does this, he does that, he does that. Lots of managers do that, and now those people are using it on Ten Hag. So I ain't been on spaces. They've been getting on my nerves. But catch me on YouTube. I got the No Agendas Football Podcast every Monday, 8 p.m. So make sure you check that out in it, because that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. See ya. Appreciate you letting me have you on as well, Saeed, man. Salute to you.
No, always, man. Listen, I enjoy Danny, man, because he holds me accountable, and I like people that hold me accountable in it. So I like the battle in it. So big up Danny, always in here, and obviously Adam the Professor. You get me? Let them know, man. What are you up to? Any Rashford tweets coming soon?
If it's needed. No, the thing is, I will not do anything to please people. I just say it the way I see it.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned through life is if you stay honest to yourself, if you catch heat and you keep being honest, at least you'll be clear with your conscience, and that's fine. That's fine by me, and I live by that motto. So I just say honest stuff, and if it doesn't please people, that's fine. But just it's always fun, always a pleasure to talk to you guys. Big up to everybody, and I'm looking for flights. I will be making a trip to the UK probably in the next month or so. So I'll shout. You know what, Faz? We'll have that conversation face to face.
Yeah, man.
That would be amazing.
Man, 100%.
That would be amazing.
I would love it. And Saeed, of course, in the moment I land,
you'll get to see how short Faz is in person. Big personality.
How what? What did you say?
He'll learn how short you are. He'll learn how short you are.
Rewind it.
It depends. It depends on the weather. It all depends on the weather.
I like that.
But Saeed, before you wrap up, let me just say one sentence and then hit the outro. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
Hit the outro as soon as I finish this sentence.
I will.
Anthony Martial, I love you.